Yo, what's going on, y'all? It feels good to be back. I know it's been over a year since I last uploaded a video to my YouTube. I want to thank you all for being patient and even like holding up this long. I didn't trust myself, quite frankly, with having the capability to like deliver quality Trihex content. I felt like I just ultimately was like delegating things too far out and spreading myself too thin and not having the personal discipline to be able to like come through and actually deliver my own standard of videos, quite frankly. I wouldn't want y'all to watch things that I don't think are personally worthwhile. So I'm happy to have finally come a long way in the last about 14 months and really feel like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. So I'm going to explain here, like, one, that I'm back on YouTube, and also how for the first time ever I'm taking things way more seriously, and what's going to change, what content is coming up, and what I've done in my own accord to grow as a person to be able to say that now is a time for me to like really get back in here and come for y'all. You know, y'all are here because of me at this current time. So I, above everything, I want to make my existing community and audience happy before I even worry about like really trying to figure out how to expand and grow the content. So we're gonna begin first here with like just giving a quick recap over like where we are right now in the saga of Trihex, and then I'll move on to the other stuff here. So you can just fast forward if you wanted to the next chapter if you already know like your Trihex lore. So first, the recap here. I got into speedrunning in 2004. I had just, got a little bit fizzled over what was going on in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh at that time, and I just happened to find out about the productive hobby of speedrunning because, I was broke and poor, and I lived in an area that had like really trash internet. So ultimately, playing my already beaten games over and over again for a repeated purpose seemed very, very alluring. So I got into speedrunning. I just happened to be playing Yoshi's Island whenever I found the hobby, and I just combined the two, and then that's kind of where it happened. I just happened to find the speed game that I was like really really into. It's just really that simple. So I started speedrunning in 2004. It's like a drug. I get into it really hardcore, in a cool way, in a great way, and I begin to innovate in Yoshi's Island starting in 2005. My first published run was in '05. I'll go ahead and leave a link for you if you want to check out there. I got some pretty sick flex. I was young dog, 15 years old, and I already dropped a speed run, recorded on VHS and everything here. So I started Yoshi's Island in 2005 with any percent. I grow into getting into the real, which is 100%. So I started doing 100% speed runs of the individual level caliber in 2006. I eventually get the whole table of every level done by 2007. And from there, I do like incremental improvements, really finding new strategies and new pushing. All my own, by the way. No scene, just me trying to top myself year over year, over and over again. So I'm pushing standards really, really high. There's actually a great documentary you can check out that explains some of the beginnings and origins of the Yoshi Island speedrunning scene. But yeah, I do this until about 2010. 2010 is when the speedrunning community at that time, young in its day, decides to have like a yearly assembly to like hang out and do stuff. We technically hung out in 2009. We attended MagFest, Music and Games Festival, but we didn't really do anything there. And then at that point, it was like, oh well, we're all extraordinary. Why aren't we like doing a thing? Why aren't we showcasing our extraordinary capability, as like a live event? So then Games Done Quick happens in 2010. Classic Games Done Quick, the very first one. I do a Yoshi run there. And from that, it's like it's a huge validating thing because I'd never really seen like any like, there was never like a big audience for speedrunning at this point. Very, very young in its day, I would say here compared to where we are now. And so that exposure from that event leads to other Yoshi runners finally popping up here because again, no one else ran Yoshi except me. So the Yoshi scene started developing by the end of 2010. And then I hear about live streaming speedrunning because at this point I thought that speedruns were, it's kind of like a movie. You only want to watch the finished product. Who wants to consume the making of speedruns? Repetitive and boring, I thought. But it also, it's the investment in the person running the game. So, you're able to like, you're consuming the journey of the individual runner to be able to, know like, the gravity and the stakes of what that grind to get the end result was. So, I was ignorant to all this here, but it all makes sense now clearly. And so I got into streaming. I quit GameStop and I got into live streaming February 2011. before Twitch was even a thing yet, by the way. I joined Twitch April 2011. And from there, I loved it. But of course, at the time I was like, just struggling with like being like a full-time university student, balancing working as a waiter 30 hours a week alongside trying to stream as often as I could. So that whole thing there was just like, I could only stream really like 2 to 3 times a week. It was really, really sporadic. It's typical struggle. So my streaming, while I loved it, did remain quite stagnant for a very, very long time with Yoshi. Eventually, though, I start to like, I move to where the internet was better. I'm able to like, kind of like slowly make streaming a bigger priority, start streaming, continuously, 3 to 4 days a week rather than just 2 or 3, which required me flip-flopping my job around a little bit and whatnot. Eventually, though, I'm streaming routinely as much as I can here, and I remain top 10 Yoshi's Island with the scene developing and whatnot. I climbed to second place by 2015. I'm continuously streaming from 2011 to 2015. And then after, growing a community and a following that loved me for my Yoshi and my swag gameplay and whatnot, by July 2015, I finally, after like sitting on it for like half a year, I finally make the plunge to go full time with it. Not really sure what I'm going to do, but just knew that I loved what I was doing and was like, well, I'd rather live a life without regrets here. So I went ahead and made the plunge. Had enough money saved, had a community that was like very, very appreciative of what I was doing. So I went full time on speed running in July 2015. I didn't quite know how to pivot from like speed running into content creation. But that's probably a bigger topic for another day on the lore here. Whatever I was planning to do here, which was I think at the time I was really focused on like probably gonna like expand Yoshi further and play the newly announced Yoshi's Woolly World that was coming out in October of that year in 2015. But of course, Mario Maker 1 comes out 1 month prior, September 11th, 2015. I play that goes insanely viral. I go from like a 700 viewer to like a 4,000 viewer streamer, and that kind of just derailed everything hardcore. And so with that level of virality, I was young in the game. I didn't really understand like, an objective viewpoint on content creation and everything else here. I was just a speed runner that just only saw like get good runs, and the good runs give you validation essentially from an audience and viewers and donations and subscriptions for economical sustainability. So I get caught in the metrics of it, and I become, I only do what got views, which was Mario Maker 1. So I kind of neglected literally everything else. And so while caught in those metrics, I became a monotonous Mario Maker 1 content machine. I do this exclusively for almost 2 full years. I get burnt out on not just Mario Maker, but I think in a bigger spectrum, I got burnt out on speed running by 2017 because I had been doing exclusively speed running within Mario Maker, but also speed running Yoshi before that. So it was like all speed running from like 2011 to 2017. So I'm really burnt out. I'm like losing motivation to stream. And I finally at that point want to branch out, but I'm also scared because I feel like, well, goddamn, I don't know what do I do? I feel like I'm not speedrun good at at anything else, and that was kind of terrifying. Well, either way, I had to get my feet wet somewhere and figure it out here. So I branched into podcasting and commentary by 2018. I started playing non-Mario games in 2017. I finally played a Zelda in 2017, for example. I literally played Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild back to back for the release of Breath of the Wild back in March 2017. I actually played, I played a Resident Evil finally in 2017. I actually played like a not Mario, not Nintendo for a change, which was like a huge outside my window. But yeah, I branched into podcasting and commentary in 2018. That was there's a lot going on there, but I'm trying to keep this brief to move on here. From there, the release of Mario Maker 2 is coming out in, I believe, June 2019. So I binged the crap out of that hardcore, but again, trying to be the same content powerhouse I was with Mario Maker 1 just doesn't translate as well for Mario Maker 2 because I was already still quite fatigued from doing it exclusively for nearly 2 years straight. So in the same year that it came out, I got burnt out from it and kind of like was already like by like October of 2019, like 4 months later, I was already kind of like, okay, this is like a thing I'll do, but not the only thing I'll do, which I think is a healthy attitude to have, honestly. From there, a couple of controversies occur. I get a suspension from GDQ over a problematic slur I had used in 2018. They gave me like punishment for a thing I did a year ago, and I had to, which I'd already demonstrated. I think unconditional reforming since then. But whatever, it's already covered in the previous video. There was the incident with Destiny where, over private usage of the N word. That was, or, drama and whatnot. It was really more about empathy and friendship. But again, I'll do a video on that like another day or whatever. That either way, these two things all happened in the same month, October 2019, and it was very, very stressful. Definitely the most stressed I'd ever been in my life, and I was really, really down for a very long time. I remember barely streaming in November of that year because I just didn't even know what to really do. It was like, oh my god. Well, ultimately, we move on from this now, and that's when I kind of like I get into like Smash Brothers, mostly just to escape the burden of having to read chat or having to like deal with the controversy and everything else here. And it would go into 2020 here with the pandemic happening, and I start covering COVID daily. I started to really realize here that I can't really enjoy games casually anymore, or recreationally, or for a higher function of speedrunning, because like COVID, I feel like is affecting everything. My community, my audience, myself, and I feel like I have to like cover this pandemic because it was like I saw the evidence it wasn't going to go away. I'm like I saw what was going on in Italy back in February of 2020, and I was like, this is going to come here. We don't have the infrastructure to really deal with it. We could be, we're not right now. Many things there, lots of information there, but ultimately I became kind of like a news, just chatting, like super react lord to, daily White House press briefings and just, getting into like a lot of like deep political rhetoric to be able to contest some of the misinformation that was going on, engulfing just the entirety of viewers, right? And then from there, we fast forward here. By June of 2020, I'm in the worst shape I've ever been. And I am 220 pounds, 20% body fat. I'd never weighed that much in my entire life. I'd always coasted around 200 to 210 in my adult life. And now I was tired of it. I'm like, you know what? I need a change. Clearly this content route I'm doing is like not mentally healthy. And my physique right now has got me feeling some kind of way. So I now make fitness my number one priority. Which is something I'd never done before. I'd always had streaming be my number one and anything else be my number two priority. But now it's like, no. I need structure in my life, and I think I need fitness to really give me the validation that I'm not getting in other things right now. Because I didn't feel as good at anything else I did at Yoshi Island speedrunning. But here I felt like if I can get good at fitness, it can give me the self-love I'm currently lacking right now, or something like that. Well, anyways, I do make fitness my number one priority. I tell my community, I tell Twitter, I make it transparent. And so it's like, fitness first, stream second. So I stream when I can between working out as hard as I can. And yeah, it goes well. I go from 220 pounds. I drop 20 pounds within like 2 months. I drop down to 199. I drop it to like, I'm building muscle, not quite losing the fat at the rate I would have liked, but it was going well. And I really, really enjoyed it. Then, I secure a PS5. I was shocked that I actually was able to get a PlayStation 5 whenever they were on pre-orders. So I had one. So, I binged that hardcore. I was playing Demon Souls and a bunch of other stuff on the PS5 for like, I don't know, like 6 months straight. I ended up taking like a break from the gym. But by January 2021, I now concluded, okay, well, I have this drive for fitness and it's really getting me somewhere. But I am stumbling on it still. I'm not going to the gym often enough, and I feel like I'm just kind of falling apart because I stay up late or I stream longer than I need to like, abide by a schedule, obey circadian rhythm. So now I say, okay, well, let's attempt to structurize for real now. So I work on doing that, being up at this time, going to gym at this time, and streaming for this long. Now committing to the idea that, okay, yeah, streams shouldn't just be like a YOLO fest, but rather like structurized. I'm going to be live at this time. I'm going to be done at this time. So I don't know, live at noon, end at 8. Stuff like be in bed by 9, be asleep by 10. Stuff like that, right? And that is accountability, discipline, and structure. The skills that are quite, I would argue, not very easy to get to, not very easy if you're not good at them. They are most certainly skills. They get better with time, but in the beginning, it's a lot of failing and ultimately, admitting to yourself here, is it a priority to you right now? So that was going on. And then finally, I would say by June of that year, several months later, I finally am getting a better hang of it. I'm balancing fitness and streaming. So I'm making like big strides in my fitness still, alongside making big strides in my structure to streaming. The content's not really the best. I'm not prioritizing making compelling content, but rather just prioritizing having fitness not detract from how I'm streaming for once. So that was going good. That was going really, really good, actually. I felt like I was, by October of that year, I'm actually in the best shape of my life. I drop all the way down to 179 pounds. I'm sitting at 12.3% body fat. I was looking good. I mean, I'm still looking good. I'm currently at 14% now, but like, you know, I was like on the active shred at that time here. And so that was going good. I felt like, okay, we're making big progress here right now. So then finally, I get the opportunity to attend a glitch from the Global Speedrun Association. You know, something kind of like GDQ, but you know, they do like live events and whatnot, and they now have their tutorial academy, which I'll talk about in a different video probably here. Well, anyways, they offered me to do a speed run for their event. And I ultimately conclude that I know what everybody wants. I know what my chat wants. I know what would be the most effective here would be most certainly Yoshi's Island. It's what I'm known for. So even though I'm scared though, because I have not been playing Yoshi's Island in the active attempt to like speed run it and get better at it since 2015, not since Mario Maker, or not since before Mario Maker, have I actually like really been back on Yoshi. Because remember, I grinded Yoshi Island and pretty much exclusively from 2005 to 2015. So admittedly, I was a little burnt out on that too, honestly. You know, I got kind of like had burned so many bridges with the over reliance of speed running, and I felt like it affected my mental, because I now had developed some kind of imposter syndrome where I felt like if I didn't like, you know, get to like the Trihex tier and world record, I felt like I just wasn't good or tolerable, or dare I even say embarrassing game footage comparatively. Well, anyways though, thanks to my wonderful girlfriend, and thanks to like just having a much more objective worldview over my emotions, I was able to say, you know what, no one's telling me I'm invalid here. No one's, you know, calling me, you know, just, I don't know, bad. So I submitted. I said, okay, let's do Yoshi. Though I'm going to have to work on it hard here. I wish I had more time to work on it. But ultimately, I have about 6 weeks to do so. So, okay, how good can I get in 6 weeks after having been away from the game for 6.5 years, nearly 7 years? And that's what we did. I did a 30-day marathon in December recently to get back on Yoshi, and it's been going well. I'll tell you more about that in a second here, actually. But yeah, so I conclude that marathon, and then now the event is coming up here actually in 2 days. So if y'all links below here, I'm gonna be live at this spot, and we're gonna be doing a Yoshi Island run on February 19th. Today's the 16th, so very, very soon. So y'all should tune in for sure. And then finally, after the Yoshi run, now we're in February of 2022. I have ambitious goals now. So I have like 4 big goals for this year, which I will tell you about here shortly. But yeah, that's generally, you know, me in a nutshell since 2004 to today, 2022. So that's like, oh my Lord, 18 years of lore as fast as I could. All right, so now comes the next question, which is, okay, so that's the lore dump. What have I been up to? So specifically in the last 14 months, I have been up to a combination of these things right here. So my fitness, I have gone from 20% body fat down to 12.4% body fat. I feel like it's important to convey that, because like if I just say my weight, that doesn't really contextualize, because weight can be, you know, a combination, an arbitrary combination of like fat and muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. So if I bring up the body fat percentage, you can usually assume here that it's going to coincide with a muscle increase generally here. Sometimes not, but like generally, you know, like what's happening is I'm losing fat, so my muscle ratio of the weight is going up. I am now consisting of more muscle by ratio of just a lower amount of fat present. Make sense? So yeah, so fitness, I've gone from 20% to 12.3 or 12.4% on the body fat. So I've been getting a really good hang on the fitness, and there'll be more to talk about there in a second. I've become more of a gamer now. I pretty much exclusively speed ran from 2004 to like 2015. And even then, I feel like I was still like in a speedrunner mentality when playing games and streaming them, especially 2015 onward. But recently, what's happened now that I kind of like slowed everything down here when I was making fitness a higher priority was I experienced gaming nirvana for the first time. Between playing, you know, I had never played a roguelike before, and there's many other genres I've not played yet still, by the way. I still want to play like many other things here. But I realize I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer, y'all. It's just real. I love games. There's so many games I've not played because I sold my soul to Yoshi's Island to get better at it over and over again. I never played anything else here. But I did play specifically Hades and Slay the Spire an absolute crap ton. Hades, I put 250 hours in the first like 5 or 6 weeks of that game coming out to full release. It was a drug. I couldn't get enough of it, honestly. So that was pretty sick. Again, I might be uploading some runs of that in the future here. From when I got my first clears and whatnot. Slay the Spire, absolute drug. Oh my god. Because my Yu-Gi-Oh background, my collectible card game background, I used to play Magic the Gathering actively from like Champions of Kamigawa all the way through to 13th edition. Anyways though, Actually, I'm sorry. Champions of Kamigawa all the way through 10th edition. Then I got back in briefly for 13th edition, but I was also too broke to really get into it any further here, so I dropped it again. Anyways, yeah, card games I'm not a stranger to. Is the whole point there. And Slay the Spire, I absolutely adore. So I played that as well. I've probably put in like something like, oh god, I don't even want to talk about it here. Probably 900 to 1,500 hours, and I didn't play a lick of that game until March of 2021. I never played it prior to that. Can't believe I was sleeping on it for so long here. Holy crap. But yeah, I had Nirvana, and for the first time in a long while was like, oh, I didn't know what to do. Like usually the thing I want to do a lot is usually like what is compelling content and what really like grows my audience, my chat. But here, I was late to Slay the Spire. I was not, the top 1% of Hades. I was phenomenally above average at both games, I would say here, but nothing like compelling for like competitive content front like I was with Mario Maker and Yoshi, no doubt. I'm a platforming god in comparison to how I was playing and learning these new genres and new experiences here. So I was a true gamer. So that was interesting right there. I did become a true variety lord. I didn't do any speed running. Wasn't doing anything that I excel at distinctively as far as like my branding of being Trihex goes. But again, also I was prioritizing fitness as my top priority, not really the content, rather just fitness and making fitness not work against my streaming. So my whole goal was just like go work out and then come live on time and stream, the duration I needed to, and then like go back to bed, rest well so I can work out the next day. The gains I was making was in the fitness area, not so much really in the streaming area. It was like fitness and discipline and the mental and whatnot. So that was going on. That was cool. I played a ton of games here. I mean, I can quick spitball you here. I played Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Yoshi's Crafted World, Hades Slay the Spire, God of War 2018, Dark Souls 1 and 2, Demon Souls on PS5, Cuphead, FF7R Remake, Sonic Mania, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Even tried to do a speedrun of Pokemon Sword and Shield one time, though that game was like really, really crap. Finally played Skyward Sword casually, Kingdom Hearts 3, Origami King for Paper Mario, Crash Bandicoot 4. I even speedrun that very, very briefly. That was like a huge thing right there. That was crazy. Revisited Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, and before the prep up and build up to Origami King, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Metroid Dread, Spider-Man 2018, Death's Door, Celeste, Resident Evil 8, Super Metroid, Bugsnax, Astral Chain, Resident Evil 7, Portal 1 and 2. Finally played those, by the way. Ring Fit Adventure, played that a crap ton as well. Got like halfway into the campaign and everything here. In very, very few amount of segments, I was going really, really ham on that. Doki Doki Literature Club, DDLC Plus, Ratchet and Clank 2016 remake, and prep for Rivet and Clank Rift Apart. Notice what I did there, right there. And more. But that's like a list of what I could just like think of in the last since Mario Maker 2, in the last like year and a half or so, that I've like been really out there doing a lot of variety, a lot of like personal growth. Has been really, really good. However, what that did now though is now that I was really getting some structure. I was finally able to like really understand and see here like what I wanted to work on. I'd always just worried about the surface level thing about like streaming on Twitch and kind of letting everyone else be like a very distant second priority. I wasn't really able to figure out how to organize everything here, because when you become a full-time content creator, it's kind of like you essentially run a small empire. So it's like how's your social media doing? How's your engagements doing? How is your content reach going? Are you sustaining the audience you've accumulated over the years, or are you more just like are you actively pivoting to new contents and whatnot? Or people who did Minecraft in 2013, are they still getting the same Minecraft people the same way 8 years later? Very likely not. So it's like, all of these things are now like, really coming at me, because I realize I'm like stuck in my old ways of just like, speed run and get better, and that will lead to a linear growth. And things now are just very, very different than how they were back when I had my initial spurt of growth in 2014 and 2015. So I'd realized that now, and I definitely was struggling with the backlog of like of my mental and growing. I had a lot of like, I would say that I was envious of other content creators who were able to like, really get a better handle on everything and kind of just grow very rapidly. And I saw them come after me and get bigger than me. And I saw this envy turn to jealousy, and that jealousy feed insecurity, and that insecurity always made me attack myself for like not doing better. But such mental spots were not allowing me to have the self-worth to evaluate, well, what value do I bring? I always undervalued myself in that context. So I think I am now doing a lot better on all that. And that's kind of why you see me here today, even finally doing another YouTube video, as sloppy as it is, as like ugly as this production here is. It's like, okay, I got to get it done, because if I wait until the perfect time, I will never be here. Oh my God. I learned that too. More than a bit here, by the way. My desire for structure, this is like a very personal thing, but I just want to touch on it really quickly here. Like, ultimately, I do believe that a lot of people will hop on this and they're hopping in with no baggage. I'm hopping on this, not trying to get everything organized and be a good content creator with like a ton of baggage. I have like, because I became full-time in 2015. So I have like, I don't even know, you're like 7 years of like DMs, emails, and just like all kinds of like unorganized files that are all just caught in like several external hard drives. And just, it's like, I feel like I of course the lure is just, okay, well, if your digital hoarding or whatever here is just like all messed up, then why don't you just like delete everything and start new? But like, that's the whole thing. That's like that's like telling a hoarder, which I guess you can call me a digital hoarder at this point. That's like telling a hoarder, just like, buy a new house, and this time don't have bad habits. Like, you have to actually, I want to contest and address them. I have to like transform myself as a person with habits to like really get to that point where it's like, fulfilling, I'm in control. So I am desiring more structure, and I am slowly working my way through that right now here. That's why it's so painful at this current time, because I have like so many banger videos of content I've produced over the last, like, I don't know, like 2 to 4 years that I have just not put on YouTube. And I'm now having to like go through and organize 4 years of content to like figure out like what's still worthwhile to upload under any context, but also like have the good habits to actively, archive and categorize things. That way I can come back and like, ultimately give you that stuff here. A lot of y'all don't even know the banger stuff I did. I'm telling you what I did, but you're not able to see it because it's not on YouTube yet or anywhere for like, evergreen archival. So working on that. And then finally here, what have I been up to? Macro picture of goal-oriented mindset. I used to only chase Twitch metrics and let that be the only thing that matters, and let every other thing be a byproduct benefit of like doing good on Twitch. However, I now realize here, no, I'm a content creator and I should be doing a lot more than that. So this is me trying to explain to you all like what I'm seeing, so I can like, be transparent in that, yeah, this is what I'm aspiring to be like. It's part of the whole goal-oriented mindset here. I'm explaining to you all what I aspire to be like. That way I can fulfill it and become it through in due time. So before it was just like do good on Twitch, but now it's like, no. Now I should be doing good on everything ultimately. And Twitch should be one of those pillars that I excel at, but it shouldn't cannibalize other things here. So I do value you all on YouTube here very greatly. I think you all deserve a better YouTuber in me, if you're still following right now here, if you're subscribed to me or whatever. So I want to do that. And that's why I'm here today. So, all right. So now comes the golden question here. What's happening? What am I actually announcing that's happening today in this video? Where's the hype stuff at, right? So here's what I got for you, all right? Mainly 3 things here. My YouTube is resuming, and that'll be in the form of daily uploads. You're going to see at least one video every day going forward here. I have a huge backlog of, in my opinion, the cream of the crop banger Trihex content that I want to give to y'all here. So I'm going through and personally categorizing everything and getting it all good to go here. I'm going to be interlacing new content from Twitch alongside here. So I am going to be doing things. I'm doing a lot of things between now and, just April alone is going to be insane here. We got like Elden Ring and Tunic, and I might even be playing a little bit some Gran Turismo 7 because I am a Gran Turismo boomer who did enjoy GT3 and GT4 a crap ton. But either way though, yeah, we're gonna be daily uploads will not be an issue. You'll get at least one new video a day of my banger stuff here. So look forward to that. Interlacing, interweaving new content from Twitch whenever it's relevant and topical. So there's going to be like, there's already an active backlog now of videos that are coming out every day, but I'll push them back one day or whatever, whenever like, if there's something new and urgent delivering and whatnot. And then that's gonna, doing that alone means that I've accomplished enough structure in my YouTube to be able to like, expand at that time. And then, look into getting an editor, because I think that streaming on Twitch, 6 to 8 hours a day plus working out with fitness is already eating up so much of my time here that honestly, like, me really adding in making YouTube videos is kind of like a huge thing. I just don't know if there's enough time in the week to really do all that whenever I'm not great at it just yet. So I do want to get to that point where I'm going to be making original videos. Like, there are things, so many topics I want to get into with y'all here that I just feel like they would be better served for original YouTube content. I'm sitting on this whole vast sea of like speedrun lore and enlightenment on the mental game of speed running that not many other runners talking about here. There's the idea, like, it's my own blue ocean. What's the most Trihex content out there that no one else can do more of than you? And I think I have it, honestly. I really feel it right now. So making original videos, that is a lofty goal I'm looking forward to, and that's coming in the second half of 2022. Can't say when yet here. The first goal before I would do original videos altogether would first be to just be responsible and be able to come through and give y'all the content that y'all have been patiently waiting on for over a year now. So those are the things that are happening starting today. So now comes the question of, okay, well, if the YouTube is resuming like today, what content are you going to be uploading? What are we getting right now after 14 months of nothing? And the answer is, I did a 30-day Yoshi Island marathon back in December with the aim to get as good as I was back in 2015. And I want to upload every PB that I've gotten since returning after 7 years later. How long does it take me to get as good as I was after 7 years of hiatus? That's an excellent question. And so you'll be seeing starting today, we're going to do sequential daily uploads of each PB I've gotten since December 1st all the way to now, with my most recent PB being right before Valentine's Day. So, about 3 days ago. So it's been a very diligent, let me think here, about 10 weeks. And there's been a lot of hurdles. Yoshi's Island is a very hard game. Yoshi's Island 100% is a very tedious, excruciatingly punishing game where like you can make a million mistakes, and you can be playing that game for weeks and I'm still making new mistakes, honestly, until I get to the point where it's like linear on what to like iron out kink wise to get to the point of like really playing really consistent and really good. So you'll be seeing Yoshi's Island, the very thing my channel started with way back in 2000 whatever 5. So we'll be doing daily Yoshi Island uploads of my speed runs that they contain like commentary and banter with my Twitch chat, so you can look forward to that. And then we're going to pivot further from that as we venture into all my other banger backlog of like speed running and extraordinary gameplay stuff. So that's what will be coming up here starting now. But I'm going to update things actually in the community from my in the community tab of my channel, that thing that y'all probably never read. But like if you go over there, I'm gonna start updating like what's on the schedule to be uploaded for now. So look forward to that. So finally, the bonus announcement here is that, of course, we're resuming the YouTube, and we're also going to be having Yoshi content come back here. But I feel like my word here has been a little bit tarnished, so I want to show through action rather than just promises and whatnot. So there was a video I promised in 2019 to my subscribers at the time. Ask Me Anything, an AMA session from 2019. Y'all did give me plenty of great questions that I never got around to doing. I just was, again, my structure and accountability were just too bad all around here. So I want to redeem that at minimum. I want to answer those questions for y'all at least. I want to do that, and then we're gonna do a new era AMA because it's been 3 years now. I definitely can probably a lot of really burning questions from y'all over with Twitch and Try Hard and back on Yoshi and what any of this, maybe you have some cues over that, or my new fitness and you want to know more about that possibly. I'm not quite sure. So I do want to do the AMA as soon as I can, probably before March, but I can't say exactly when because, you know, Elden Ring's coming out in like a week. So it's going to be kind of like a crazy time for content. And then, but the new AMA I will definitely have done along with the old one here by prerequisite. I'll have that done before the release of Tunic, which is coming out March 16th. So I have more news on why I'm hyped for Tunic. I'll have more news on what content's coming for that as well, all soon. But for now, though, this is the very appreciative first step towards letting you all know here that your inbox will finally be full of Trihex content. I look forward to at least doing well for y'all here. I love you all so much. Thank you again. See you next video.